Welcome back, boys and girls, to the second part of Joshua's diary. The picture you're looking at is Independence, Missouri, which is a starting point for the Oregon Trail. Now you can see the buildings, and there's quite a few people, and it might not seem like too much to you because you're used to a busier area, but way back when, lots of people lived on farms. So this spot was probably the last real civilized town that they will see for months and months, and some of them, if they move to a farm, this might be the last time they ever see it. So let's begin. We left off March 22nd, when Ma decided that yes, they were going, because her twin sister's family is going. March 22nd, yes, this morning they told me, we will go. But Ma was still quiet. So then I said, Ma, how come? Ma shrugged. She looked out the window. I looked where she looked. Oh, we don't talk about it, but all my little baby brothers and sisters die right after they are born. The last one lived just one night. I named him Ezra. He wrapped his tiny fingers around mine. There are 5 gravestones out back. All that lived are me and Becky. Maybe in Oregon, Mom said. I nodded. It's the most we've ever said about babies. So there you can see one of Mom's personality traits or characteristic right now is she's quite sad that she's lost baby, but she's hopeful that maybe things will be different in a new place. Nighttime. I've taken Pa's map to my room. With my finger, I follow the trail we'll take. Mr. Robert Stewart, an explorer, laid out every step of it. In all my 9 years, I've never left St. Joseph, Missouri. I've never seen anything important. I've never done anything important. Maybe on the trail I'll be allowed to hunt. Grandpa had a hunting accident. That's how he lost his arm below his elbow. He was just 8 years old. That's why Ma won't let me hunt. It will be different on the trail. I hope. I can't wait. March 24th. Last night, Pa gave Ma a canvas chair. He said, you won't squat on the ground. You will sit by the campfire like a queen. Ma laughed and shook her head. Pa laughed too. Such excitement, Mrs. McCullough, and we're just beginning. Ma said getting ready is excitement enough to last her a lifetime. But I think Ma's happy now. She smiled even as she shook her head at Pa. March 30th. My head is spinning. In less than 1 week, this has happened. We sold our house, we sold the chickens and the horses, we traded the mules for oxen to pull our wagon. We've only kept our milk cow, Lori. She'll come along. We now live in our wagon down by the Missouri River, just about a mile from our house. St. Joseph is a jumping-off place for a wagon train. There are lots of other wagons waiting by the river. An entire wagon train will go to California and Oregon. Pa says we'll just love Oregon. We can claim a whole square mile for ourselves. March 31st. Here's what our wagon house looks like. There are hoops to hold the cover. Pa oiled the cover to make it waterproof. Inside are 2 chairs. There's a table and a rug. There's even a picture of Grandma on the table. It's like a tiny parlor, which is a living room. In the middle of it is Becky's wash tub bed. So they're using the wash tub, which is like a big metal bowl. And at night, when they're done washing, they put a blanket in there, and that's where Becky sleeps. Around it are crammed barrels of dried meat and flour and coffee. There's bedding to make pallets to sleep on and spare parts for the wagon. There are Pa's rifles and Ma's wedding trunk. There's a tent for us to sleep in. Pa's built a cupboard on the side of the wagon. It holds pots and plates and Ma's medicines. There's quinine and laudanum and castor oil. There's a hartshorn for snake bites. Ma is scared silly of snakes. There's also a mirror on the side. Ma says she won't look in it till the trip is over. I look every day, hoping that my freckles are fading. They aren't, and my hair seems more red each day. It's a crowded little house, but there's room for Buster, my little brown dog. I'd just die if I had to leave Buster. April 1st. Grandpa came by camp today to say goodbye. He gave me a box tied with string. Open it later, he said. He sounded angry, but I saw tears in his eyes. I was blinking myself. When he was gone, I opened it. It was his pocket watch. It had a broad plain face and fat black numbers. Pa said that when I was a baby, the ticking made me fall asleep. I looked at it a long while before I put it in my trunk. I'm trying hard to be brave tonight. Remember, he said Grandpa was his best friend. Later, we now have our own little neighborhood. In the next wagon are Aunt Lizzie, Uncle Arthur, Charlie, and little Rachel. Rachel is 4 and a best friend to Becky. Next wagon are the Wests with their son Adam. Adam is quiet. I think he's afraid of his pa. Nobody likes Mr. West very much. He's loudmouth. But we like Mrs. West. Then there are Mr. and Mrs. Gibbons from our church. They call their babies the January, February, and March babies. The oldest January is a boy. He's 2. February is a girl. She's 1-year-old. And March is so new she can't hold her head up yet. Everyone likes them. Aunt Lizzie says they act as if they were newlyweds. But Ma says, with 3 babies? Then there are Mr. and Mrs. Allison. They are fat and they laugh at everything. They have no children, just a dog. Its name is Adorable. Honest, I didn't even laugh when I heard it. Adorable wears a hair ribbon and it sits on Mr. Allison's lap all day long. In another wagon are the Douglas sisters, Miss Emmeline and Miss Elizabeth. They are single ladies from Ohio. Everyone wonders why they're traveling alone. They're nice enough, but a bit standoffish. Then there are the Druckers. There are about 20 of them traveling together in 3 wagons. In one wagon there's a mama and a papa and a little girl named Sarah and a girl my age called Bobby. She's real lively. The Druckers come all the way from Kentucky. Lastly, there are Mr. and Mrs. Meany. I am not making up that name. Mrs. Meany is as nasty as her name. I've known her for a week and I've yet to see her smile. And there are lots of other wagons, maybe 100 together, strung out along the river. We're a mixed group, but Pa says we will get along well. I'm not so sure about the Meanies. April 2nd. Today the men choose a guide for our train. His name is Cousin Daniel, but he's not cousin to anyone we know. Pa voted for him because he led the other wagon trains. Cousin Daniel warned us about Indian raids and snakes and hailstorms. He said this trail isn't for cowards. Then he took off his boots and showed us his feet. One foot has no toes at all. He said he wore his toes right off with walking all the way to Oregon. Charlie whispered to me, "Is it true, you think?" "Nah," I said back. Cousin Daniel heard and he grinned at me. "You're right, boy. I'll tell you the real truth. I was sleeping one night and a snake crawled up and bit them right off of me." Later, Pa said he really lost his toes to frostbite. Pa also said not to worry. Cousin Daniel is full of bluster, but he will be a good guide. Full of bluster means he likes to tell crazy stories. Okay, so now we know. Joshua and his family are living down by the river because they sold everything and they're waiting to leave. We've met all the people on the wagon train, or most of the people on the wagon train, that will be their neighbors. And we've met Cousin Daniel, who's going to guide them across the Oregon Trail. So we're going to stop there and we will continue and see when do they finally leave. They've been waiting for almost a week. Hope you're enjoying this historical fiction.